Welcome to the Learn to Sew Academy channel. Please remember to subscribe. Thank you.
This is the second part of this video on how to make this classy jumpsuit. Check the description for the first video. To sew it, we're going to join the front part of the pant. So we're going to sew it all across like that. And we're going to do exactly the same thing to the back. This is right side facing right side, and we're joining the back together and we join the front together. Now that we've joined the two pants at the crotch area, now we're going to take the back and the front and we're going to lay them right side to right side, and then we're going to go and sew the sides. So you're going to sew the side from one hand to the other. So you're going to go ahead and sew this with a straight stitch, and you come to the other side and you're going to do the same. You're going to sew it from one end like that all the way to the end. Then after we are done with that, we'll now come here at the bottom, the inner part of the leg, and then we start sewing this all across until we get to the crotch area. And when we get here, we're just going to open up the seams like that, and we're going to just sew it on like this. We continue sewing it and we go all the way to the end of the leg, and that right there will complete the lower part of the jumpsuit. First, hem the edges of your upper part of this jumpsuit right there, and then start to run your gathered stitch with the elastic thread. Check my video on how to do this. I'll be uploading that shortly. This is what it's looking like after 3 rows of sewing. So I'm just going to continue to do this all to the end. So this is what the final look is. For those that don't already know how to do this, I am going to be uploading a more detailed video on how you can do this. If you want it way more gathered, use your steam iron. You make sure it's hot and you just do it all over it and let the steam come out. This is not plugged in yet. I don't want to use a steam. I'm okay with what I have. But if you want it to shrink somehow to be even more closely gathered, you just use a steam iron and you just place it all over it, and the steam will cause it to shrink some more if that's the kind of look you're aiming for. So now the pant has been joined. So what I want to do is we want to add this to what we have here. So this is the look we're going to be having. We're going to join this like so. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to take the two that I have here, and I'm going to do it right side facing right side. Remember when I did this, I left I have an armhole over here. So this is my armhole here. So I'm going to go to the sewing machine and I'm just going to stitch the sides on both sides. I'm going to go over here too, and I'm just going to stitch the side as well. And when I'm done with that, when I've stitched the sides, I'm going to flip this inside out, and then I would align it with the pant and I will attach the two together. I'll show you that when I get to that point. After joining the two sides, we now need to join this to the jumpsuit like that. All right, so what I want to do is we're going to join from the sides. So I'm just flipping this way so to make it easy to sew. I'm just going to open up the seams, and what will happen is we're going to now sew this and sew it all around like that. Because I'm going to gather the sleeve area too, I need a long stretch of fabric. So this right here is 14 by 5. So I'm going to open this up, and I'm going to join them in the middle. I'm going to join it in the middle like that, so I can have a long stretch like so. I'm going to cut my armhole on one side of it so that I can easily attach it to my sleeve over here. So if I check what I have here, I have 7 inches over here. So what I want is to have around that 7 inches too when I cut this. That's what I'm trying to achieve here. So I can just do this too and just cut this out. I can just draw this and I'll cut this. So I'm going to join this end right here. After I join that end, I'll open this up and I'll start to gather my fabric with the elastic again from one end to the other. But before I do that, I forgot to mention, before I do that, I'm going to lock. I'll first join the middle section like that in a straight line. I'll open it up and I will use some locking stitch on the top and at the bottom here. Then I'll fold it in and I will stitch the top and I'll also stitch the bottom. After I've done that, I will now open it up. Remember, I'll have a long fabric after I've joined this. So I'll now open it up and I will now gather my fabric with elastic. I don't know if I mentioned that this right here, before I started to gather with my elastic thread, I first rolled the edges in twice and I first used a straight stitch to sew that down. So now I stitched the edges after locking them. I just folded it over once, and so now I ran my gathered stitch with the elastic thread from one end to the other. So after doing that, now I joined the side. Is a very tiny edge left over, so I just joined that. So now I'm going to be pinning it onto the main fabric, the main body of the jumpsuit. So that's what I'm doing now. I'm pinning this all the way to the middle. So where I've joined here is my middle. So I'm just going to open it up and I'm going to match it to this midpoint here. And I'm holding that in with a pin as well. So this is what I have on the one side. So I'm going to go ahead and do likewise on the other side of the jumpsuit. So now this is what I have. This is what it looks like. Now I've only done 3 rows of elastic thread right here. If you like, you can do it all the way to the bottom. So everything will just be gathered to the bottom and it will just look like that. But I wanted to have this look. So that's why I've only done 3 rows here. So the rest of it, this is what it's going to look like. So you can either wear like a regular neckline, so that this will just be like your neckline, or you can make it a off shoulder neckline when you wear it. So I'm going to go ahead and do exact same thing on the other side. I'll pin that too, and once that is done, we're going to go to the sewing machine, and I'm going to just stitch all this from one end to the other end. And once that is done for both sides, this jumpsuit will be more or less completed. And then what will just be left is for me to hem the bottom of the pants. So I'm going to have to turn it in, and I'm just going to hem the bottom of the pants. So that's what is going to be left. This is what the upper part looks like, and this is what the neckline looks like. However, if you want the neckline area to have a little bit of more strength, you can take a regular elastic and you can put it all around like that. You can put it all across, and when you do that, you're going to stretch your elastic. So you want to measure what you have here, and you want to take away maybe 4 inches or however snug you want it to be. Or alternatively, you can also wrap this around your shoulder area where you want your neck line to start from, where you want the off shoulder to start from. You can wrap your elastic round about that, and whatsoever you have, when you wrap this around, that's what you want to cut out, and you want to just sew it all around right at the edge like so. You sew it all across and you stretch it as you go, so that when you wear it, it can give it more strength and snugness, if that's what you want. Other than that, this is quite good enough. As you can see, it expands when you pull it, so this is just excellent. So thank you so much for joining me in this tutorial. I hope this has helped you. If it has, please remember to give this video a thumbs up, and if you have not yet subscribed, please don't forget to do so, and feel free to share our videos. Thank you. See you in the next video. Bye. If you don't already know how to, don't forget to check the video on how to gather your fabric with elastic thread.